You know, Resident Evil 4 has a flow system. Oh, yeah, 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 I do know about that. So that Ditman glitch, does it just, like, does it use shotgun shells, or does it use the ammo of the weapon that you trick it into using? It'll ruin the game. I just want to try it once. Apparently, everyone knows about the Ditman glitch, so I'm going to try it.
Wait a second, did I start streaming? Oh my goodness. Bruh. No way.
Aim striker before laser shows up. Open inventory and change weapons.
Bro, I was getting all my stuff ready and whatnot, and I hit start stream like a fool. No way, did I actually do that? I did. Ah, this is so embarrassing. This hasn't happened to me before ever. You just catch me like naked right now, guys. Like a fool. No way, did I actually do that? It is what it is. We ball regardless. We ball regardless. Jesus. It's okay though. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Mistakes happen, and I know mistakes happen. I guess let me start Twitch as well. Oh no way! That's such a rookie mistake. It is what it is though. It is what it is. We ball regardless. Hmm. Yeah, but they did mess up my Burger King order. Sadly, very unfortunate. But as the Mayan said, it is what it is. It is what it is. But man, oh man, how y'all doing this lovely Wednesday night? Actually, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. Wing Wednesday, if you will. We know. Not now. We know YouTube sounds good. I can double check on my phone real quick. Yeah, YouTube is good. YouTube is good. Remember to like the stream and whatnot if y'all tuning in, having fun and whatnot. Actually, let me do a couple things. Let me start linking stuff. Let me start linking stuff. That's what I should be doing. I'm in my account. Twitch. Let me sign out of this real quick. Ooh. As you can see, I am starting late again. But you know, at this point, you guys know me. I think it's... I think that's it. That is the password. Goddamn genius. Oh, I forgot. What the... Be forgetting that baddies exist in this universe. They do exist. I'm like, bro, I was supposed to be chilling for like a little bit before I started stream and whatnot, but I guess not. I guess not. As the Maya said, though, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm like, bro, I was supposed to be chilling for like a little bit before. I'm still setting up some stuff in the background, making sure everything's straight. Alright, enough clowning, enough clowning. Channel. Alright, Fantastic Four. I know there's a lot of steps going on, but it's gonna be worth it. Oh my god. Still you. Copy. One of those. One of these. One of them's. That's pinned. And then duplicate. What am I doing? Switch account. Put you there. Help me. There we go. Duplicate you. Click on that. Copy. Because now since I'm getting, what's the word I'm looking for? People subscribing and whatnot, I might as well like link my other stuff in the chats. Alright, so everything's linked up. Now if you go to the thing. Alright, I think with that, we are all set to go. Let's check the sound again. Alrighty, alright. Let's get to it. A crazy start, but you know, sometimes you just gotta jump in the water cold. No floaties, no warm up. No water on the back. You just gotta dive straight in. Oh goddamn, just messed up. My glass be making me look crazy. Let's open Twitch chat on phone. I think that's like the best move. Where's my Twitch chat? Okay, wait to load, huh? Pretty embarrassing, if I do say so myself. Like, bro, I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. Like, she deadass tweaking out. It makes no sense. And like, what happens is I gotta like disconnect and reconnect for it to work. So I'm like, bro, what's going on here? Just work with me, please. But anywho, it's whatever. Does the link work? Wait, does the link not work? Oh, we could transition now. Okay, it works on Twitch. Oh, is that how it works? I could just copy paste it? Confusion. Okay, it works. All right. Now that we got everything set up properly, everything's running smoothly, what are we going to do is the $1,000,000 question. It's going to be quickie because I do got a Zoom call in the morning, so that's going to be fun. So I can't stay up too late like I usually do. But I'll give you all something, because that's what real heroes do. That's what real streamers do. For the love of the game. Oh, I didn't even plug in my headphones, bro. I am tweaking tonight. Oh my god. And you would think because we're on what's the day? Day 29, by the way. Been streaming for straight 29 days, guys. I'm very proud of us. You know, we stayed consistent, and that's great. For 29 days, you know. But yeah, you would think out of 29 days I will get some type of rhythm, and like I guess, you know, once you get used to it, you kind of just make mistakes, but you still, excuse me, work through it. Sorry, that was the Burger King, which by the way was freaking trash. They messed up my order. I forgot my fries. I had to circle back. I forgot my barbecue sauce too, but at that point I was already annoyed. It was just, oh my goodness, it was unfortunate. I was very upset because I like Burger King, you know. I enjoy Burger King. But things, Burger King is like a, for me at least, Burger King is like a toxic relationship, you know? Because some days it's like absolutely peak. Like you go there, get your Whopper, it's like the best thing in the world. That's like the some of the best fast food ever. Other days it's just complete trash. Like there's no redeeming qualities whatsoever. You're just pushing through it. It's super toxic to be a fan of Burger King, bro. And you're just always hoping for that high of like you're going to get that good Burger King. When you don't get a burger, you're like, dang, maybe next time. It's almost like gambling, almost, because it's a coin flip. It's like playing roulette. You hope you win big when you put it all on. What is it? Black 8. I think black is odds and red is even. Roulette wheel. Black is odd and red is even. Wait, no. Oh, yeah, red is odd. No, because 13 is odd. 31 is odd. So how do they pick the colors? How does this work? Is that what I wrote? Oh, I guess they have like their own order. How does it work? How does this work? Is it like a star type deal? One. I need a bigger image. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the time? Okay, so it should be making like a Y. So the next one should be what? Right here. 10, 11 should be up. Oh no, this is short. So I think I'm kind of getting the patterns like long, long for some. Then it's going to be like long, short for another one. So 11, 12, 13. I think 13 is a long. Then 14 should be a long too. Yeah, 14 is a long. Then 15 should be a long. And 16 should be a short. Right? 15. No, 15 is a long as well, huh? 15 or 16. Let's see, 17. Okay, 16 is long and 17 is long. Was I wrong about that pattern? 17. 18 should be across. 19 is a long right there. Then 20 should be a long too. 21's long. 22 is cross. And where's 23? Is 23 long as well? No, 23. Yeah, 23 is long. It's over here. There's the short. Then 24 is right there. Okay, okay. So there's the short. So it goes a while before it goes short again. It really does go like long, long, long. Then it's something's going to be like short. Okay. Interesting. I know that was super random, but I was just super curious about that. Because I thought it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way around. But I guess they do this to keep it more random. Interesting. Alright, check chat. What the? What the? Stop it. The audacity. Daioki, what are you doing, buddy? I'm gonna time you up, buddy. We're gonna time you up. We don't want bots here. We don't want bots here, King. We don't want that. It's only 600 seconds, so learn your lesson and don't do it again. Have some class. Alright, let's finally watch this freaking caveman video. Because I've been curious about that. We've been saving this for a minute now.
Fighting dirty.
Bring the juice, oof.
Dawn breaks over the rugged landscape as a small group of humans emerges from the mouth of a limestone cave. Their day has already begun, some scanning the horizon for game, others gathering kindling for the fire that never fully dies out. But what exactly filled the hours of our Paleolithic ancestors? The popular image of cavemen dragging women by the hair and clubbing mammoths hardly captures the complexity of their daily existence.
That is true.
So how did they spend their waking hours when survival was a full-time occupation?
That's what I'm asking you, King.
When we speak of cavemen, we're referring to humans who lived during the Paleolithic period, spanning from approximately 2.6 million years ago to about 12,000 years ago. This represents over 99% of human history, a time before agriculture, before cities, before written language. Yet this wasn't a static period. Massive innovations in technology, social organization, and artistic expression occurred throughout the Paleolithic. Our understanding of daily life during this era comes from multiple lines of evidence. Archaeological sites preserve stone tools, hearths, food remains, and occasionally more perishable items like textiles or wooden implements. Cave art and portable artifacts provide glimpses into their symbolic world.
Another thing, too, because I'm on the topic of being upset with Burger King and their wishy-washy quality. The fries are actual cardboard, bro. It's so upsetting. And, like, I've had a good Burger King fry, and I think it had been, like, at least a year or two, bro. It's just, bro. Give me some good Burger King, please. That's why, like, you know, when it comes to, like, true fast food stuff, McDonald's usually comes out on top because they're consistently good. Like, it's very rare to get very bad McDonald's. But when you get really good McDonald's, that's pretty good. But, like, on your average trip, McDonald's going to be pretty solid. You're going to get to what you're looking for, you know? You're going to get decent fries, a good Sprite, and a good burger, you know? And the chicken nuggets never miss, you know? They never miss, too. Like, it's very rare for McDonald's to miss. And that's why, you know, they get that consistency. That's why people like it more than Burger King. Because Burger King is just way too inconsistent. Same style to go on with a Wendy's too, because Wendy's used to have like really good fries, like sea salt fries. They stopped doing that, like, I don't know when, but they just stopped doing that. Now their fries kind of taste like cardboard too. I don't think decent thing on the menu is like the spicy nuggets and maybe a Dave's burger too, if it's made decently. But usually, like, if you're going to Wendy's, just get the spicy nuggets, bro. They never miss.
Ethnographic studies of recent hunter-gatherer societies offer additional insights, though we must be cautious about direct comparisons across such vast time spans.
You can choose to raid the caravan, or you can choose to guard it. This is a game where slaying monsters are not the only way to grow stronger. Heck, it's not even the main way.
The Paleolithic wasn't a monolithic experience. It varied dramatically by region, climate, and time period. Early Homo habilis living in Africa, 2 million...
Homo habilis. Dang, they were short. And that's us. Homo erectus. Homo neanderthalis. This. Homo sapien. Man, it's so crazy to me how we just apparently just like wiped out our brothers and sisters. Like, just killed them off. That's so crazy for me to think about, bro. Like, these people, like, imagine these guys like walking amongst us and we just, and our ancestors just, you know, killed these guys off a couple million years ago. That's so insane.
Million years ago, had a profoundly different daily experience than Cro-Magnon humans painting the caves of France 20,000 years ago. climate was perhaps the most significant factor determining daily routines. During the Ice Ages, when much of northern Europe and Asia was covered in glaciers, survival demanded different strategies than in warmer periods or regions. Groups living near coasts or rivers developed fishing technologies, while those in forests or grasslands focused on different prey and plant resources. What unites all Paleolithic peoples is their lifestyle as hunter-gatherers, acquiring food through a combination of hunting animals and gathering wild plants. So let's step back in time and examine what filled the hours, days, and seasons of our Paleolithic ancestors. The Paleolithic day began with the rising sun. Unlike our artificial lighting and rigid schedules, these early humans followed natural rhythms of light and dark, adjusting to seasonal variations. Morning typically began with rekindling the previous night's fire. Archaeological evidence from sites like Terra Amata in France, dated to 380,000 years ago, shows carefully maintained hearths, critical for warmth, light, protection from predators, and cooking. Starting a fire from scratch was challenging. Most groups maintained embers or slow-burning materials overnight. Mornings were likely devoted to essential tasks requiring daylight. The band would assess immediate needs. Was food running low? Did tools need repair? Were there signs of game nearby? Water collection was a daily necessity, typically from nearby streams or springs, carried in containers made from animal bladders, woven baskets, or eventually pottery. Rather than rigid schedules, Paleolithic life followed a pattern of immediate return activities and delayed return planning, preparing for future challenges. Evidence from sites like Gesher Benot Yaakov in Israel from nearly 800,000 years ago shows remarkable knowledge of seasonal plant cycles, suggesting sophisticated planning. The day's main activities varied by season and immediate needs, but food acquisition dominated. Adult males often focused on hunting, especially larger game, while women typically gathered plant foods and hunted smaller animals. However, this division wasn't rigid. Archaeological evidence suggests considerable flexibility in gender roles. Midday might include food preparation, tool maintenance, or rest during intense heat. As the day progressed, hunters returned with game, when successful of course, and gatherers with plant foods. As daylight waned, the community gathered around the fire. This evening time likely included storytelling, planning, and social bonding. Obtaining food was the primary occupation of Paleolithic peoples. Hunting large animals required considerable skill and coordination. Early humans likely began as opportunistic scavengers, but by 500,000 years ago at sites like Boxgrove in England, we see evidence of organized hunting. A horse shoulder blade from this site bears a clear spear wound, demonstrating direct hunting rather than scavenging. Early Paleolithic hunters used simple hand axes and wooden spears. By 400,000 years ago, humans at Schöning in Germany were crafting sophisticated wooden spears perfectly balanced for throwing. The introduction of spear throwers around 30,000 years ago dramatically increased range and power, while bow and arrow technology appeared in some regions by 20,000 years ago. Hunting wasn't always successful, making plant gathering the more reliable food source. Archaeological evidence shows Paleolithic people consumed a wide variety of plant foods, tubers, fruits, nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. Studies of dental
Balanced diet.
calculus from Paleolithic teeth reveal traces of numerous plant species, including various medicinal plants. Plant gathering required extensive knowledge of growth cycles, habitats, and processing techniques. This knowledge was likely passed down through generations, creating sophisticated ecological understanding. The Paleolithic site at Coster in Illinois dated to approximately
Oh, I live here.
9,000 years ago,
Well, not in that city, but like I live in Illinois.
shows evidence of fishing using nets and hooks crafted from bone. Seasonal variation dictated rhythms of food acquisition. Spring might focus on gathering eggs and fresh greens, summer on berries and hunting young animals, autumn on nuts and preparing for winter, while winter often relied more heavily on stored foods and hunting. Food storage technologies were limited but crucial. Some groups dried meat to create early forms of jerky. Underground storage pits preserved
Jerky is fantastic, bro. I love me some. Like, if they could, I just wish there was more servings in the package, bro. Like, whenever you get jerky, it's like they literally give you like a handful. It's like, here, take this, and you gotta pay $12 for it. Like, give me a full a full bag of jerky, bro. Like, jerky be more selfish than potato chips with all the air that's in potato chips nowadays, too, bro. Like, they're greedy. I'm sick of it.
Certain foods in cooler temperatures. In colder regions, freezing provided natural preservation. The Paleolithic diet was remarkably diverse, much more so than 100,000 years ago, with some evidence suggesting much earlier origins. Cooking made many foods more digestible, releasing more calories and neutralizing natural toxins in some plants.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because with the free ad block.
Bad stop. YouTube be blocking. Oh my god, why am I so tired? I was like awake all day. Like, it should be straight.
Paleolithic humans spent considerable time manufacturing and maintaining tools. Tool making wasn't occasional but constant. Stone tools dulled with use and required regular resharpening or replacement. A skilled knapper could produce a functional cutting edge in minutes, but more complex tools required hours of careful work. The evolution of stone tool technology reveals increasing sophistication. The earliest Oldowan tools were simple stone cobbles with flakes removed to create a crude cutting edge. By 1.76 million years ago, Acheulean hand axes demonstrate careful bifacial flaking and symmetrical design. The Middle Paleolithic introduced Levallois technique, allowing more control over the size and shape of stone flakes. The Upper Paleolithic, beginning around 50,000 to 40,000 years ago, saw an explosion of specialized tools: burins for engraving, scrapers for hide preparation, awls for puncturing, and projectile points for hunting. These weren't made by trial and error, but reflected sophisticated understanding of stone mechanics and intended functions. Tool materials extended beyond stone. Wood was undoubtedly the most common material, though it rarely preserves in archaeological sites. Remarkable exceptions include wooden spears and a yew wood spear tip from Clacton-on-Sea. These show careful shaping, with the wood's natural properties considered in the design. Bone, antler, and ivory became increasingly important in the Upper Paleolithic. These materials could be carved into fish hooks, needles, harpoons, and decorative items. Antler was particularly valued for its combination of strength and flexibility. Food processing tools included grinding stones for seeds, pounding tools for tough plant foods, and specialized cutting implements for butchery. Experiments show that stone tools could efficiently butcher even large animals like elephants, though the process was time-consuming. Containers were essential technology. Early humans likely used natural containers like gourds, shells, or animal bladders. By the Upper Paleolithic, evidence suggests the use of woven baskets and sewn hide bags. The earliest pottery appears by around 20,000 years ago in China. Clothing technology evolved with climatic challenges. During colder periods, hide preparation was essential. Stone scrapers removed fat and tissue from hides, while bone awls and needles.
I didn't think about it. That was just a very simple time, bro. Like, looking at us now, we just have so much stuff to do and whatnot. Like, let's go back to simple times. We just, in groups chilling. Wake up when the sun comes up. Find your food, eat your food. And just look at the stars and shit. Maybe find like a herb that makes you see things and whatnot. Make you happy and laugh. Like, I don't know, man. That sounds like a peaceful life right there. Can't even hold you. But then again, at the same time, I do like enjoy. There's a balance. Like, I like TV still, too. I like my bed and whatnot. Like, I want like some type of balance of both. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Life just be, ugh. It'd be so tired, man. So tiring. Can I adjust my seat? Oh, it's stuck on something. Alright.
Allowed for sewing. Where did Paleolithic humans actually live? Despite the caveman stereotype,
That's what I was
caves
thinking.
were just one housing option among many. Natural shelters like caves and rock overhangs were indeed used when available, especially in regions with harsh weather. Famous cave sites like Lascaux or Altamira preserve evidence of extensive occupation. However, caves suitable for habitation were relatively rare, and evidence suggests they were often used seasonally rather than year-round. The archaeological record reveals various constructed shelters. At Terra Amata in France, archaeologists found traces of oval huts approximately 8 to 15 meters long, supported by wooden posts. At Mezherich in Ukraine, 15,000 years ago, mammoth bones were arranged in circular patterns to create dwelling foundations, likely covered with hides. Inside these shelters, space was organized for different activities. Hearths typically form the central focus, with evidence of sleeping areas, tool-making spaces, and food processing zones arranged around them. Home maintenance required ongoing work. Fire needed constant attention, shelters required repair after weather damage, and living areas needed periodic cleaning. At some sites, archaeologists have identified distinct dumping areas where refuse was deposited away from living spaces. Child rearing was integrated into daily life. Unlike modern society's age segregation, Paleolithic children likely observed and participated in adult activities from an early age.
That's neat.
Personal hygiene is harder to trace archaeologically, but ethnographic studies of hunter-gatherers suggest regular practices, including dental cleaning with fibrous plants and bathing in available water sources.
I believe that, like chewing on sugarcane and whatnot, that's good for your teeth and gums. There's certain things for and shoe sticks as well. Like they're like these sticks of bark you can chew on that have different flavors and whatnot. That's good for you. Like yeah, I should for sure believe that.
Home life also included care for ill or injured individuals. Several Paleolithic skeletons show evidence of healed serious injuries or long-term disabilities, indicating community support for those unable to contribute fully to subsistence activities. Contrary to
If you're rash-free and you know it, take a
Contrary to
ride.
popular belief,
If you're rash-free,
what possibly could he have said after that? We'll see.
popular portrayals of primitive existence,
portrayals, my
Paleolithic
bad.
social life was rich and complex. The basic social unit was the band, typically 20 to 30 individuals consisting of several related families. These bands weren't isolated. Archaeological evidence shows regular interaction between groups. Exotic materials found far from their sources indicate trade networks spanning hundreds of miles. Social bonds were maintained through various activities. Sharing food was fundamental, creating reciprocal obligations. Evidence from sites like Dolny Vestanich 29,000 years ago shows large hearths capable of cooking enough food for substantial gatherings, suggesting communal feasting events. Art played a crucial role in Paleolithic social life. The earliest definitively human art includes ochre processing at Blombos Cave in South Africa almost 100,000 years ago. By the Upper Paleolithic, we see spectacular cave paintings, portable figurines, and musical instruments. Music is ephemeral, but surviving instruments offer tantalizing glimpses. Bone flutes dating to 43,000 years ago have been found in Germany, with careful reconstruction showing they produced notes in recognizable scales, paired with drums made from stretched hides or hollowed logs, which rarely preserve. These suggest sophisticated musical traditions. Evidence for medicine and healing practices comes from plant residues with medicinal properties found in dental calculus. Some shamanic practices may be reflected in Therianthropic, a human-animal hybrid, images in cave art, possibly depicting transformed states of consciousness. Conflict existed but wasn't constant. While some Paleolithic skeletons show violence-related injuries, they're relatively rare compared to later periods. Resource abundance relative to population likely reduced competition in many regions. The Paleolithic lifestyle represents the
I mean, yeah, that's how it be sometimes. If there's a lot of resources for everybody, there's really no need to fight. Unless someone wants to get greedy. Man, simpler times.
longest and most successful human adaptation, sustaining our species through dramatic climate changes and enabling global colonization. What can we learn from this enduring way of life? First, Paleolithic humans were remarkably skilled environmental managers. Rather than passive victims of their environment, they actively shaped landscapes through selective hunting, plant management, and even controlled burning. Archaeological evidence from Australia shows Aboriginal fire management dating back 65,000 years, creating mosaic landscapes that enhanced biodiversity.
I mean, when you really think about it, like from 10,000 years ago to now, we came like a long way. Like, actually, like, from being in caves to now traveling through space and touching the moon. And now thinking about going to Mars. Like, that's just insane to think about, like, the technological jumps we'd be having. Especially, like, during, like, you know, what is it, the 1900s? From, like, you know, flights and whatnot, too, and, like, the jump for that. And then, like, with cars as well. Like, we have, like, huge jumps in technology. Like, we are a very fast evolving species when it comes to, like, technology, for sure. And I wish we could, like, keep at that same pace or whatnot. I think we kind of stagnated a little bit. Mainly due to, like, I don't even know what, to be honest. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I think it's just a lack of passion for, like, and lack of growth. Like, I think we lost that golden era of Renaissance and curiosity. Like, we're very much in, like, this stagnant survival era, you know? Where it's, like, abundance, but not abundance. And just degeneracy and whatnot, and just stupidity. Is just, there's no real art anymore. Like, people aren't artistic like they used to be back in, like, I don't want to say like 100 years ago. Like, if you look at old buildings and whatnot, and like how they were so much very detailed, but now everything's just like very, not serialized, but pixie coded. If you remember, if you guys watched Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Odd Parents, Pixie, like very much like this, very corporate, like, you know, very gray, dull, just, you know, concrete. There's no real art. There's not like a real Renaissance right now, or a Renaissance era. Yeah, very much like this. Not like interesting buildings anymore. It's just, yeah, it's just kind of, I don't know what's going on with us, bro. Needs to find that passion again. That's what we really need. Hopefully we find it soon.
Second, Paleolithic lifeways demanded extraordinary knowledge breadth. Each individual needed working understanding of hundreds of plant and animal species, geological resources, weather patterns, tool manufacture, and social dynamics. This generalist knowledge contrasts sharply with our modern specialization. Third, their technologies were sophisticated adaptations to environmental challenges. While simple in appearance compared to modern equivalents, Paleolithic tools represented elegant solutions developed through generations of refinement. The principles behind many modern tools were established during this period. Perhaps most significantly, the Paleolithic period saw the emergence of symbolic expression, abstract thinking, and cultural complexity that defines humanity. The Paleolithic wasn't a primitive prelude to civilization, but a highly successful and sustainable adaptation. For over 99% of human history, this lifestyle maintained population balance with resources and supported rich cultural traditions, achievements worth considering as we face our own environmental challenges. So what did cavemen do all day? They engaged in a complex balance of immediate needs and long-term planning. They manufactured and maintained essential technologies. They acquired, processed, and shared food. They created and repaired shelters. They taught their children practical and cultural knowledge. They developed art, music, and symbolic systems. They maintained social bonds within and between groups. They adapted to environmental challenges through innovation and mobility. When we look at the archaeological record with fresh eyes, we see not primitive ancestors, but innovative humans facing environmental challenges with creativity and resilience. Their solutions, from sophisticated hunting technologies to symbolic art, laid the foundations for all subsequent human achievement.
Nifty. That was actually a not so bad video. Remove from playlist. What else do we have here? Fraud. Well, let's check out the home screen. Let's check that out. I remember this show, actually. Why is this? Open up a new tab. A little bit curious. This animation gets worse every time you notice it. Open that new tab. That sounds interesting. I'll add that to watch later. That was just posted too. Save to playlist. Things to react to. All right, now why is this show not on Disney Plus? I'm curious.
Remember the time Tarzan fought a Triceratops? Or when he was cast as the star of a movie? What about that time he had to flee from a grenade alongside former US President Theodore Roosevelt? Hi, I'm Dr. Panda, the only panda who has defeated Sabor. And in this video, we'll look back at one of the most memorable cartoons Disney has ever produced, The Legend of Tarzan. What was it about?
You guys remember that Timon and Pumbaa TV show? I had that on VHS. Like, I used to watch that when I was like, I had to be like 3 or 4 years old, like late at night with my brother. And that was just like how we used to fall asleep one night. It was like that. Fantasia. Oh my god, that took me back actually. That actually took me back. That's insane. Oh my goodness. That was actually a nostalgia wave right there.
Why did its second season only have 3 episodes? And why will we never see the series on Disney Plus? Get ready, because in this video, we're taking a 20-year trip into the past with a chance of nostalgia. Let's get started. Let's rewind to 2001. A simpler time when life's biggest stress was rushing home to catch your favorite after-school cartoon.
Loved Invader Zim. That show was hilarious, man.
No bills, no responsibilities, just you, a bowl of sugary cereal, and one question in your head.
Fun fact. Me and my brother were not allowed to eat sugary cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Frosted Flakes, Apple Jacks, Captain Crunch. We were not allowed to eat those cereals unless it was summertime. So through our entire school year, we would eat like Raisin Bran, Corn Flakes, Honey Bunch of Oats, or Honey Nut Cheerios. Those are the only 4 we were supposed to eat. And then once summer hit, me and my brother were both allowed to choose like one cereal to eat. One of those sugary cereals. It was always a treat, bro. That was like tradition. Yeah, that was really fun, man. Yeah, that was a good tradition right there. I'm not gonna hold you. I liked it a lot because we always were thinking, oh, what cereal we gonna get this time? You know, last summer we got XYZ, but this summer we should probably try this. You know, it was a fun time. You know.
Head. What's on TV today? Right in that golden era, Disney dropped this gem. The Legend of Tarzan was produced by Walt Disney Television Animation in 2001. It first aired on UPN, later moving to Toon Disney, and explored the events in Tarzan's life right after the 1999 film. Tarzan is now the leader of the gorilla.
Wait, Tarzan came out in 1999? I thought that came out like in 2000. That's insane, bro. What? 2 worlds, 1 family. Trust your heart. Let fate decide to guide these eyes we see. She looks familiar. Was she Enchanted? What? No, Anne Hathaway was that girl. That's why. Bro, she is still fine. I remember having a question on her when I was younger because my mom liked watching Delphine Parada, Princess Diaries, like all those old movies. She would like a lot. Like Anne Hathaway is fine. Then she was in my movie Interstellar too, bro. Dark Knight, man, she is something else and decent actor as well. Anyway, what was I looking at? We were looking at Tarzan, Minnie Driver. Oh, the Phantom of the Opera. Oh, I love this movie. The Phantom of the Opera is there inside your mind. Da, 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 da. This right here was good. My mom liked musicals a lot. We watched this a lot when I was a kid. Chicago. We watched this a lot when I was younger too. My mom was always playing on the background. Oh yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes boss, race the gun first for the gun. Understandable, understandable. Da, 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 da. Here's another song I really like too. Oh, what was that song, bro? Cause you could look right through me, walk right by me. I never know you, da da. Oh, Mr. Yeah, bro, that song, is that it? Mr. Cellophane. Da da da, 'cause you could look right through me, walk right. Bro, this song right here was gas. God damn. I forgot how good the movie was. John C. Kelly. Queen Latifah was here in this movie. Did not know that. She looks familiar. I feel like she was in something else. Same with Shorty here. Point is, these were fantastic. What's his name? Movies. How we were talking about a different movie, weren't we? How we get to freaking musicals? My bad. I be getting distracted super easily. It is yeah, Twitch is still good, but how did we get here? It was Tarzan. We were talking about Tarzan. That's why.
I like anime.
Oop, wrong video.
A family following Kerchak's death speaks perfect English and is married to Jane, living together in the treehouse built by his parents at the beginning of the first movie.
Cascade Platinum Plus has the grease-fighting power of Dawn to remove tough, stuck-on foods. Cascade Platinum Plus.
At Walden University, we aim higher than good grades. We're here to ignite the passion in those around us.
But they're not alone. They're joined by Professor Porter, Jane's father, and a total third wheel. The series brings back most of the iconic characters from the film, including Turk, Kala, Tantor, Manu, yeah, that's the name of this little baboon, and even Kerchak through flashbacks in certain episodes. But to keep the story fresh, the show introduces a host of quirky allies and villains, allowing for a deeper exploration of Tarzan's life in the jungle. And to achieve this, the show draws inspiration not only from Disney's original film, but also from Edgar Rice Burroughs' classic novels. For example, in the episode Tarzan and the Hidden World, an old rival of Professor Porter, named Samuel T. Philander, arrives in the jungle just as Tarzan leads Jane and her father to a hidden world beneath Africa where dinosaurs still roam. Yep, we're not in Kansas anymore. This subterranean...
That's insane, bro. You were fighting dinosaurs in this show? I mean, if you're a guy talking to gorillas, bro, like, it's whatever at this point. It's whatever.
Film is called Pellucidar, and was originally created by Burroughs himself in a series of novels from 1914 to 1963 that follow mining heir David and his inventor friend Abner as they discover this lost world beneath the Earth's surface. The most interesting part is that back in 1929, Burroughs published a crossover novel where Tarzan actually visited Pellucidar, making it basically the literary equivalent of the Avengers. Like I mentioned earlier, the series is packed with new characters who add tons of heart and expand Disney's Tarzan universe. Like Renard Dumont, one of the show's most recurring figures. He's a smooth-talking Frenchman who runs Dumont's trading post and has a greedy, opportunistic personality. He starts out as a rival to Tarzan, often trying to woo Jane away from him, but as the series progresses, he slowly evolves into an unlikely ally, supplying Tarzan with tools and even helping him take down other antagonists. Then there's Moyo, who
interesting. I like
appears in the episode The Challenger. In it, the gorilla family barely survives an attack from a fearsome python and starts feeling like Tarzan cares more about Jane than he does about them, so Moyo steps up to challenge Tarzan for leadership. He makes his case by saying that if Tarzan had to choose between Jane and the gorilla family, he'd definitely choose Jane. And
solid caller right there.
And if we're being honest, Moyo was probably right. So Tarzan basically replies with challenge accepted, and the two begin a floor is lava competition. After a few minutes of jumping all around, Moyo falls to what seems like certain death until Tarzan saves him at the last second. Unfortunately for Tarzan, the vine he's hanging from snaps, causing him to lose the battle and the leadership of the family to Moyo. But when the python strikes back and the two are forced to team up to defeat it, Moyo accepts Jane as part of the gorilla family and Tarzan as their rightful leader. Also, fun fact, Moyo is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris. Now you see that Really? The
Interesting.
Met Your Mother reference wasn't just random, don't you? But if we're talking about the Tarzan series, we have to mention one of its most iconic villains, Queen Law, who, by the way, was also...
Who was this, bro? I think she vaguely looks familiar, bro, but I did not remember seeing this baddie in the show, bro. If I was, I'm sorry, Tarzan. Like, I probably would have chose her over Jane.
also originally created by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Queen Law is a former member of the Waziri tribe and the sorceress ruler of the abandoned city of Opar, where she commands the Leopard Men. And her story is, well, a little weird. As it turns out, her Leopard Men kidnap Professor Porter as part of a ritual where they capture males as potential husbands for Law, which really makes you wonder what kind of romantic past the Queen has for one of her henchmen to think the Professor was totally her type. But Tarzan shows up just in time to rescue him. And this is where Cupid's arrow strikes. When Queen Law sees Tarzan, she instantly falls in love, and from that point on, she dedicates her life, and several episodes, to trying to seduce him with all kinds of schemes to make him her husband, none of which ever worked.
Like, bro, like, this man Tarzan really fell in love with the first girl he saw, which is valid. I totally get it, y'all. Y'all had a connection for like the past, what, a week? Then she decided to stay with you. I get it, bro, but I guess I'm thinking it from a human mindset, not, you know, like a gorilla mindset. You know, you find your first mate and then you're kind of locked in forever. You know what I mean? But no, if you were raised by gorillas, the male gorilla, or the alpha male of the group, the leader of the pack, they have like a harem, you know. So you would think Tarzan would be down to be polygamous. No, that's just my thought process. That's my thought process, but for sure would have started spending some game at least. Tarzan, like, come on, like she's offering you a fair time.
In the original novels, she was actually a high priestess of a blood cult who fell in love with Tarzan, so Disney pretty much got it right. And then there's Ed, a pretty odd character whose episode really caught my attention, especially because of his true identity.
Okay, so right now he's just summarizing episodes. Like, why? Like, I clicked on, and but why though? Why? I thought you were going to explain this, so please get to that.
But I'll tell you all about him in an upcoming video, so stay tuned.
You don't have to be a VIP to get more than just say...
Of course, when I ask that question, they want to give me an ad. Is that to humble me?
Now, my favorite episodes were the ones that put Tarzan in situations way outside his usual jungle routine, like getting challenged by a world-famous boxer, starring in a movie, or fighting side by side with Theodore Roosevelt. So, of course, those were the first ones I rushed to rewatch when I revisited the series. Tarzan and One Punch Mulligan is the 28th episode of the series, and it introduces us to world heavyweight boxing champion One Punch Mulligan, who visits the jungle on safari with his manager and personal journalist. During a stop at Dumont's trading post, Tarzan accidentally knocks out Mulligan, a moment that gets captured in a photograph. This blow to the boxer's pride makes him demand a rematch, an idea enthusiastically supported by both Mulligan's manager and Dumont himself, who see profit potential in such a fight. Being the noblest ape man in all of Africa, Tarzan refuses to fight him, but the stubborn boxer starts wreaking havoc in the jungle to provoke Tarzan into accepting the challenge. In the end, Tarzan saves Mulligan's life and, without needing to fight, demonstrates his superior strength. And just before the credits, Turk accidentally knocks out Mulligan again. But that's nothing compared to the time Tarzan was literally about to star in a movie. It all starts when Tarzan spots armed men in the jungle. He confronts them and disarms them, only to get a surprise when he realizes their guns are fake. The director shows up, scolding him for interfering and explaining they're shooting a movie starring none other than Stanley Obrowski. I know, can you believe it? The actual Stanley! At first, Tarzan is recruited just to handle the stunts, but the crew is so blown away by his skills that he quickly lands a bigger role. The camera loves him and everyone's thrilled, except Stanley, because just like Mulligan in the other episode, his pride takes a major hit. Man, I'm starting to notice a pattern here. Stanley insists on doing his own stunts instead of letting Tarzan take over, but the director shuts him down. So basically, Stanley gets fired and his role is handed to Tarzan. The director explains to Tarzan that for the next scene he needs to kiss his co-star because his character loves her, but Tarzan gets confused because he loves Jane, not some random blonde stranger, which is kind of adorable. Meanwhile, in a fit of intense jealousy, Stanley sets fire to the film reels containing Tarzan's scenes, but being the imbecile he is, he ends up trapped in the flames himself, forcing Tarzan to come rescue him. During the rescue, Stanley confesses to Tarzan that he'd rather die than live without fame. Tarzan saves Stanley, but then he tells everyone that Stanley was the one who saved him, and with this noble lie, he restores Stanley's reputation with the crew and gets him his role back, giving us the happy ending we deserve. But while Tarzan hosted boxers and filmmakers, his most distinguished visitor was undoubtedly a certain former US president. By the way, if you enjoy the content of this fluffy panda and would like to...
I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed, bro. Just a little bit. Why is the show not coming back to Disney Plus? You're just explaining episodes. Like, bro, we're 7 minutes in, 8 minutes in. Help me.
Support the channel, you can become a member by clicking the join button down below and get access to exclusive panda emojis, badges, and even some videos while you're at it. Takes him to meet Tantor, but things take a dark turn when Roosevelt tries to shoot the elephant, leading to a major falling out between him and Tarzan. But here's the interesting part. Turns out, this event isn't just Disney's invention, it's loosely based on a real-life event. The Smithsonian Roosevelt Expedition, where Roosevelt and a team of hunters were funded by the Smithsonian Museum to travel to Africa to collect, which is a polite term for hunt, roughly over 11,000 animal specimens for the museum's displays. But in the show's twist, when Tarzan and Roosevelt get kidnapped by mercenaries, it's the wildlife itself that helps them escape. The experience teaches Roosevelt that he can admire nature without shooting it, completely changing him and leaving the Smithsonian without new displays for years to come. One thing that caught my attention about the series is that only 36 episodes were produced, which means the show didn't even reach Disney's standard minimum of 52 episodes for their shows. Well, actually, I just lied to you. 36 episodes were produced, yeah, for the first season. But then we have to talk about the second season. And this is where it gets interesting. Psst, let me know in the comments what other series you'd like me to cover in a future video. Turns out the show technically has 2 seasons. The first with 36 episodes, and the second with just 3. And here you might be wondering, how can there be a season with only 3 episodes, Mr. Panda? First of all, I have a doctorate. And second, I can answer your question with 3 words. Tarzan and Jane. Tarzan and Jane was a 2002 direct-to-video movie whose plot, if we can even call it that, was really just an excuse to package 3 unaired episodes from the series. It's kind of like when in The Office, the banker interviews Toby as an excuse to show us clips from previous episodes. Yeah, this movie is essentially just an extra-long clip episode. The story follows Jane as she teams up with Tantor and Turk to find the perfect wedding anniversary gift for Tarzan. One of their ideas is to throw a party, which makes Jane remember the time her friends came to rescue her after mistakenly thinking she'd been kidnapped in the jungle. And here we're shown the first of the 3 episodes. Jane explained everything to her friends and took them on a jungle picnic, but they got attacked by panthers and had to flee deeper into the wilderness. Jane ended up teaching her friends some survival skills, so naturally, when the panthers returned, Tarzan had to swoop in for the save. After the episode ends, Jane mentions wanting to give Tarzan an expensive gift, which prompts Turk to recall the time Tarzan tried to get Jane a diamond, showing us the second unaired episode of this movie. Later, Professor Porter suggests celebrating their anniversary with a dance, making Turk remember when Jane's old friend Robert Candler, a Royal Air Force pilot, came to visit, sparking jealousy in Tarzan. As it turned out, Candler was actually a double agent working for the Germans during World War I, and he'd only returned to retrieve an old music box he'd given Jane years earlier, which was actually a code box. This led to a wild chase, ending with Candler getting arrested by another British Air Force pilot. So after an afternoon of lots of talking and very little action, Jane returns home empty-handed, only to find the treehouse decorated for a party and Tarzan wearing his father's suit. He gifts her a diamond ring, and they share a moonlit dance to wrap up the film. So poetic.
Not gonna lie, I think I just got clickbaited, bro. Not gonna lie to y'all.
But let's be real.
We are 11 minutes in, and he's not explained this premise at all. We just got summary after summary after summary of each episode that he liked. And I really feel offended, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I feel bamboozled.
The movie isn't great.
Like, good, he got the click from me. I think that's that. He got the click. He got the extra view, you know, and that's great. But like, I was really ready for like a breakdown of like, you know, what happened behind the scenes and whatnot, but with the show, like that's what I was excited for.
Even as a kid, I remember having it on VHS and avoiding it at all costs. Now here's the thing. While all 3 Tarzan movies, including Tarzan and Jane, are available on Disney+, there's absolutely no trace of the animated series to be found. And the reason has everything to do with Disney's relationship with the Burroughs estate, which is complicated. The 24 Tarzan novels were written by Edgar Rice Burroughs between 1875 and 1950, and soon became literary classics. So, naturally, Disney acquired the rights and produced their own animated version, which premiered in 1999. The film was a massive success, becoming Disney's second highest grossing animated feature at the time, right behind The Lion King. Disney knew they had to maximize the franchise's potential, so they refurbished theme park attractions, produced 2 more films and an animated series, and even included the character in multiple video games. One of those games was Kingdom
Yes, sir. I was just about to say Kingdom Hearts, bro. We gotta talk about that. Man. That was an annoying level, though, in my opinion, bro. I got lost a lot.
Hearts, a crossover title from 2002 that features various Disney franchises, including Tarzan. The game was a hit, spawning multiple sequels, including 2020's Melody of Memory, which took players through all the worlds from the original game with one glaring exception: Deep Jungle, Tarzan's world, which was completely scrubbed from existence. No traces, no references, nothing. 18 years separate these 2 games, and a lot changed in that time. As far as I know, all of Disney's uses of the Tarzan IP occurred between 1999, when the first movie premiered, and 2006, when the Broadway musical debuted, although it later toured internationally. But after that, it's like Disney decided they wanted everybody to forget Tarzan.
Did you get Ruffles Queso? He knows ball. That's a good ship right there. That's a... Like, whenever I'll get fried with the homies, bro, this right here will be gas. This ship is still pretty good, bro. My homie Jamal put me on this one. Fantastic flavor for Ruffles. It's like this and sour cream. Man, he knows ball. I respect him now. I'm still pissed about, getting clickbaited to click this video. But besides that, he knows ball with
Tarzan
those
ever
ships.
existed, which is why the character is nowhere near as prominent in Disney media today. The Tarzan-themed attraction at Disneyland has been re-themed to remove all traces of the character, and there's zero indication of any future projects involving the Ape Man. At this point, a live-action remake of the 1999 film seems highly unlikely, which might ironically make it the only Disney animated classic to escape the live-action treatment. Considering it was once the studio's second highest-grossing animated film, the fact that Tarzan has virtually disappeared today can't be a coincidence. While no one has infiltrated Disney's contract vault to see the exact legal stipulations, it's clear the usage terms aren't favorable for Disney. Rather than navigate the legal hurdles, the company seems to have opted to forget about the character entirely. Though many Tarzan novels are
She is pretty bad. I think it's just the brown skin, white hair. It's a dangerous combo.
technically in the public domain, the Burroughs estate is notoriously litigious and difficult to work with. One possible example is this random Quora user I found who claims the estate came after him just for using Tarzan as his online nickname. Anybody want to give it a try? If you want proof of how messy Disney's relationship with the Burroughs estate is, you should look no further than House of Mouse. The showrunners confirmed in an interview that while they had carte blanche with Disney's entire character library, Tarzan was singularly excluded due to fear of getting into legal disputes with the estate. I break this down in more detail in my House of Mouse video, so go check it out after this one. My theory is that Disney still needs the Burroughs estate's approval to profit from Tarzan appearances, which likely requires, let's call it, a financial gesture of goodwill. Adding to the complexity, the series featured top-tier talent like Tara Strong, Neil Patrick Harris, James Avery, Jim Cummings, and Craig Ferguson, meaning residuals probably factor in too, similar to the House of Mouse situation we analyzed in my previous video. And to top it all off, remastering costs play a significant role. While the Tarzan films received careful visual treatment for their home video releases, the animated series never even got a physical media release. When you consider all these factors, plus the simple truth that The Legend of Tarzan just isn't a Disney priority, this little panda sadly believes we'll never get to see the show available for streaming, and that's sad. Also, did you know Disney completely blocked a Star Wars comedy series from releasing right after acquiring Lucasfilm? And the craziest part is that 39 episodes were already completed and ready to air. Why did they do this?
Okay, he started talking about it near the end of the video, but bro, I had to wait. $10 minutes to get to that. Come on, man. All right, I'm going to take a piss, feed my crayfish, and I'll be right back. do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do do. See, I always worry about my freaking crayfish, bro. Because at points, I'm thinking, like, is he still alive? But he is still alive, you know? It's like some days he just doesn't eat at all. It's like, it's crazy because, like, he can survive, like, 2 days without any food, you know? And, like, that worries me, like, bro. But, like, it's completely fine. So then I feel like, you know, decent amount, like, every other day, then, like, a weekend, I might give him a quick break, let him, you know, do whatever. Because I did find man's in, like, a whole parking lot just by himself, you know, walking around. So he's a survivor for sure. But I don't want to overfeed him. I don't want to underfeed him. I just want to keep the right balance so he's just, you know, living comfortably. You know, there's something in my eye. I just want to adjust my glasses. I might shift to, like, you know, not wearing my glasses all the time because they're, like, really just embarrassingly broken. But I need to see. So I might use them when they're needed, you know. Did they drop any info about that game? Yeah, that's the game right here.
While the console has received some great exclusives in 2025, including the critically acclaimed Death Stranding 2, none of Sony's first...
Yeah, there we go. This game looks cool, looks sci-fi retro a little bit. Like I'm very excited about this one.
Naughty Dog's attention is now firmly on Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, a spacefaring game with retro 80s vibes. After leaving the...
He knows ball.
Future of The Last of Us HBO show in the hands of Craig Mazin, studio head and creative director Neil Druckmann is now working full steam ahead with his team on the Uncharted Studios' first new series since 2013. But aside from a cinematic heavy trailer at last year's Game Awards, we've seen very little of this sci-fi story.
I'm saying I need to see more of this. Like, you know, Porsche, nice. Like either some gameplay, another trailer or something, bro. Like really when it comes to video game trailers, like this was a good teaser. But next trailer, we need some, like, gameplay, or next announcement, we need a little bit of gameplay. Like, show us what's going on here. Like, you can sell us on just cinematics, bro. Like, we want fun gameplay. That's what matters.
Tell me something good.
What we do know is that it follows Jordan A. Munn, a bounty hunter who gets stranded on a planet when on the trail of a criminal syndicate called the Five Aces. It's also rumoured to have a deep...
What? We don't get to ride around that spaceship? That's a missed opportunity. Maybe we could ride around it on the planet, maybe? I don't know.
...a combat system than any previous Naughty Dog game, with the reveal trailer giving us a tiny glimpse of its lightsaber-esque gameplay. Oh, and the music is being composed by Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. That's never not a good thing. Could this be Sony's big 2026 PS5 game? We can certainly hope, but we would love to see some gameplay before making such assumptions. It would appear that this isn't the only iron Naughty Dog has in the fire though, with Druckmann teasing that the studio has a second unannounced game in development. Could this be The Last of Us Part 3? Uncharted 5? Something completely different? Let us know what you think in the comments.
I will be kind of upset if we get like a cool spaceship like that, don't get to like ride around it or control it. That would be a missed opportunity for sure. Hopefully we do. Maybe that planet's just big enough that you can do it or something like that. I really hope so, because that ship looks cool. Just seeing that only in cinematics would be a shame. Premieres, 8 p.m. Later today. The worst type of love interest. Ooh, what's this about? Bruh, I will say, I have nothing to speak about Lois. I didn't watch that show. Amber was annoying, most definitely. We cannot deny that, bro. She was like an absolute tweak. And I was like, I'm invincible. It's like, oh, I know you're invincible, but like, I'm just upset that you didn't tell me beforehand. I'm like, bro, I was dying and whatnot. Like, and she was just actually tweaking out. Like, she was just annoying, and it wasn't like, it was just bad writing for her, to be honest. Like, I feel like the writers didn't know how to like portray a person who was strong, but yet, you know, upset by no honesty or whatnot. It was just so weird. And then Rogue, listen, X-Men 97 pissed me off with Rogue and Gambit. Because their relationship was cool and all, but then, you know, Eric came back, Magneto, they were vibing and whatnot. Then he's like, oh, look, because of my powers, I could touch you. And then Rogue's like, oh my god, do I pick Gambit, who I have the strong connection to, or do I get back with my ex, who I know I could touch and whatnot? And then, you know, she chose her ex. And it's like, it's just that, you know, I know that he gets me and whatnot, and we could do that physical touch stuff or whatever. It was insane work. And then they go to the ball together, like they literally, like her and Gambit literally just break up. Then they go to a ball together, right? Not Gambit and Rogue, but Rogue and Eric, Magneto. They go to a ball together. They're flying, dancing, kissing in front of everybody at the ball. Like Gambit's there, like the whole crew is there watching that happen. It's insane work. And I was like, dang girl, you moved on that fast? Like you really wanted physical touch? Like I get that you were denied that and whatnot. That's what you were looking for. But then, don't you realize, you know what? Physical touch isn't all that. And like I want to get back with Gambit. I'm like, bro, what? So it took you. Practically, they can't show like it's practically. It took you sleep with another man to realize, you know what? I really don't need this. Let me go back to my original man. It's like, yeah, physical touch is great, but we have that emotional connection, and that can't be, you know, replicated. You know what I mean? It just annoyed me heavily, bro. Like that was just not the way, and especially like how they did it too. Like it was just so fast. It was like no real build up to it. Like the most they had was like, you know, training together, but that was like off screen. Like her switching to Eric so fast, then like practically hooking up, then at that point realizing, okay, then really like that, I want you again. It just, it was too much whiplash, bro. Like they could have done that better. They could have really done that better. But yeah, let's see what they have to say, because I'm curious about that. Is there anything else that I opened up? Opened up this. Opened up this. Leave that right there. Close that. Alright, let's see if this is good or not.
As an Old Spice hair rescue worker, we're not just rescuing hair health and hairstyle. We're rescuing the man beneath the hair. It's a real rush.
Old Spice styling products promote healthier, fuller, and more moisturized looking hair, all while helping.
Skip ad.
Well, I thought it wasn't possible. I thought I had covered the worst of it. The cheaters, the complainers, season 1 Amber. I thought the war was finally over.
I was going to the worst place in the world, and I didn't even know it yet.
But alas, I was mistaken. My eyes were deceived, and I realized I haven't even scratched the surface of terrible love interest. I'm talking about individuals. I'm talking about couples. I'm talking about it all. You might be wondering, Worms, what caused this sudden turn of events? Recently, I made the choice to watch X-Men 97.
Good show though, still a good show, but like she really upset me, bro, with her choices. This guy sounds familiar. I feel like I watched him before a while ago. To me. Open up his channel. I feel like.
What are some of
this guy is someone I watch. Maybe I'm tweaking, but the name Worms sound familiar. I think I probably have. All right, let's get to the video though.
And then rewatch X-Men 97 to see if my eyes lied to me the first time. I have never seen a character bitched so hard than...
I'm set. I talk about the exact scene I was just talking about, bro. Like literally just watching your girl just break up with you, now touching them, doing all the things you can't do in front of you. It's just it's sick work. It's diabolical, bro. Like I would have gone full crash out. Well, drop the whole 52 deck on his head, bro. Real talk.
Gambit was in the show. So, Rogue, I will be on your ass very soon. You will not slide this time. I don't care what anyone says. Rogue couldn't touch Gambit. It wasn't fair to her. No excuses for this blasphemy.
Because that was her excuse, but then when she made up with Eric and touched, she realized, you know what? I don't like this. I want to go back to Gambit. That's the issue I have. Like, if she was still with Eric afterwards, the whole case went on, like, okay, I want this. Fine, whatever, you're happy. It's the fact that once you did it, then realize, okay, I didn't want this. Even though Gambit was saying the whole time, touch don't matter, we got each other. Like, it took you having to do it, like, I gotta see for myself, then realizing, okay, yeah, it wasn't there. It was just insane, especially when y'all had a past relationship already. Like, that was your ex. He came back into your life. And he's like, okay, let me try this again one more time. You know, it just made no sense. Like an unnecessary test.
How dare she? Justice for Gambit. Secondly, I had the misfortune of watching My Adventures with Superman. Now, overall, this show is pretty good. Granted, I only watched the first season, but I can already tell I will be sick of this character if I see one more.
You lied to me. You lied to me.
You lied to me.
Bruh. That is an annoying trope, bro. You lied. Bruh, I was trying to protect you, you dummy. Like, let's keep it real. Like, I just say my secret identity. Like, that puts you in danger as well. And now you know my identity. Now you're just going to be worried all the time, you know? Or just, damn if you do, damn if you don't, you know?
You lied to me about your secret identity in a comic book show. I'm going to be mildly upset. Did nobody learn from Amber? Please stop doing this to me. And lastly, with the release of Joker Eiffel Tower 2, which I must say, despite my initial distaste for the Joker movies, this film pleasantly surprised me. It was a really solid, like, 0 out of 10. The entire relationship of Harley Quinn and Joker is long overdue in one of these videos, and I'm not even going to be talking about one specific characters. These two fuckers stretch the multiverse on how ass they are, so I have to mention it. Now I have to start this video out with Rogue. I am strictly talking about the X-Men 97 portrayal of this character. Now, I don't know what happened to the original Rogue from the 90s series, but who in the world is this? Now, my hate towards Rogue does not go to her character. I really like this character. My criticisms goes to her actions. She is acting crazy as hell in this show, and especially in that gala. Tell me how she's gonna go tell Gambit that she's dumping him or not choosing him or whatever, then shows up to the gala looking like this, dances with Magneto, and makes out with him while floating in the air in front of dozens of people, including the guy that she just broke up with. And then, after knowing that Gambit just saw all this shit not 10 minutes after being dumped, she turns down Magneto anyway.
Exactly my point. You just turned down. Makes no sense. Made no sense whatsoever.
If I had a chance to kill one of you motherfuckers, it'll be your ass.
What did you do that for? You couldn't have turned him down before you did all that? Somebody in the writer's room has to hate Gambit. They made my boy watch the love of his life get freaky with a 97-year-old man and then die. That's crazy. I wouldn't hate this so much if Gambit wasn't such a good person. I mean, I had 5 seasons of Gambit showing nothing but love for Rogue and being one of the only good guys in the X-Men. I'm gonna be honest here. And she throws all of that away. Disrespectfully too. However, all of the blame does not lie with Rogue alone. Magneto, you are way too old to be acting like this. And as for Gambit, look, me personally, there is no way I'm sacrificing myself for a woman who just pulled that kind of stunt. But my biggest problem comes with Rogue after Gambit's death. Why is she crying right here? Are you aware of what you just did? Now you want to act all hurt, but you were loving it like not 2 seconds ago. Do I think Rogue loved Gambit? Yes, I do. But if she knew that the no contact was a deal breaker, she should have ended the entire thing much sooner than she did. So when Magneto comes back around and offers Rogue a place at his side with the possibility of a physical relationship, she goes for it. She breaks Gambit's heart, and then he goes and gets himself killed because now he feels like he has nothing left to lose, never knowing that Rogue chose him after doing all of this, by the way. So after Gambit dies, now Rogue wants to feel like the grieving widow and has the nerve to call him my man.
Piece of scum put a good man, my man.
Official or not.
I'm sorry, but that did just rub me the wrong way. It really did. It really did. Like that, I don't know how they could. There should have been like a better way to portray that. Some type of way where it didn't, where you're not angry with Rogue. You know what I mean? Because like just watch that, you're just like you just think she's a tweak. Watching that.
As much as I see everyone trying to make excuses for Rogue here, this does not.
Who's making excuses? Who could make an excuse for Rogue at that point? Who's doing that? No one in the comments. I'm not reading all the comments still. I don't want to get spoiled.
Justify her choice of cucking Gambit in front of everybody. Rogue made this decision. Even if she regretted that decision right away, the damage was already done. There is no take-backs from this. I'm not saying that Gambit's death is entirely Rogue's fault. I mean, it's a little bit her fault, but Gambit made his choice. It's the way that Rogue is acting post-death that makes me feel kind of angry. I mean, where was all this energy when Gambit was telling you it doesn't matter if you can't touch each other? All that I see is you and the 130-year-old flying around and making out. It feels kind of hypocritical.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
This year for back to school, Shoe Station and Shoe Carnival are stamping all your favorite brands.
Which is my biggest problem. Speaking of hypocritical, Lois Lane from My Adventures with Superman is a touchy character. Now, do I dislike this version of Lois Lane? No, I do not. She has flaws, but what good character doesn't? However, this version of Lois Lane has a trope I seem to be finding a lot of recently. The "you lied to me" trope, or for short, the Amber trope. Similar to Amber from season 1 of Invincible, Lois Lane is angry at Clark for not revealing his identity to her. Now, I'm not sure what's happening, but what is up with the entitlement of these characters, man? Number one, Lois does not have the right to know these details. Compared to Amber, who was at least dating Mark when she got upset with him, Lois is mad at her coworker. Why would a guy tell every little detail about himself to a girl he's not even dating? Getting to know someone.
That is facts. I didn't watch the show, so I didn't know that. So you guys aren't dating, you'd expect him to tell you all of his business, like, oh, I'm Superman. Like, you're a random person. For all I know, you could be an op. You know what I mean? Like, that is insane. That actually is insane. If they were dating, I get the whole "you lied to me" trope. It's annoying, but like, kind of valid. But if you're not dating, we're just friends, co-workers at that, you're tweaking out a little bit. You're tweaking out.
And knowing everything about them is not the same thing. No. Number two, she is a reporter who has stated multiple times she wants to out Superman's secrets. You hate
My sister in Christ. Are you serious? Okay, yeah, she's actual tweak. So you said multiple times in front of this dude how you want to, expose Superman out his secrets. And then when Clark doesn't tell you he's Superman and finally does, you're upset that he lied to you. Like, not remembering the fact that you were trying to expose, like, wow. Nah, Lois is a slight tweak, bro. She's tweaking out right now. She's tweaking.
Hated Superman. You said he was a liar, and you were gonna find and publish all of his secrets. My secrets.
Now you want to act like you never do that simply because you know who Clark Kent is. You can't act all aggressive before learning Clark is Superman and then try and act all innocent after learning Clark is Superman. The line,
I would never do that to you,
is kind of redundant considering that you just did that. And I don't give a fuck that Lois jumps off a building in every version. Every time she does this, I think it's a little weird. Number three, the line, "a secret is another type of lie," automatically makes you dislike Lois. Unfortunately, you don't always get what you want, and choosing to leave out details of your personal life is something everyone has the right to, and definitely when it comes to sharing that you're fucking Superman to a news reporter. I don't hate Lois Lane by any means, and it's important to give character flaws in order to grow within the story, but giving a character a flaw that is so unnecessary is never the correct route to go. And as for these two fuckers, I'm not even gonna talk about a certain aspect of this couple. Everything about Harley Quinn and Joker is astronomically horrible. Much of it comes from the fact that Joker is a complete balls-to-the-wall psychopath that should have never been given a romance to begin with. But at what point does some of the blame go to Harley Quinn? I mean,
you're addicted to bitches punching you in the face?
Throwing you in acid, choosing Batman over you constantly, hitting, shooting, yelling. I mean, come on, Harley, stand up. It didn't help that once Margot Robbie became Harley Quinn and everyone was obsessed with Joker and Harley Quinn's relationships. Do not think I forgot about everyone saying they want love like this back in 2016. I did.
I remember that. People were wild back in 2016. People just, they like the tea. They like the toxicity,
Not forget. And once again, this couple is reestablished with the release of Joker Baguette 2. Me personally, I like Harley Quinn much more when she is her own character instead of Joker's lapdog. On a similar note, I like the Joker much more when he's acting alone than when he's surrounded by others or other villains. I do understand that Joker and Harley shed on abusive and toxic relationships, but this shit goes way beyond toxic. This shit is straight up violent. Obviously being more of the Joker's fault. This dude is top one worst love interest of all times. Do not get with Joker. Simple. Honestly, bottom line, don't get into a relationship if you find yourself in a comic book. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments.
Not a bad video. I like this guy. Shout out Worms. He made the video. 8 singles. Guess who's hiding a crush? That girl looks familiar.
Four single girls and 4.
Dino, Sam, Hater, Chris, Blue. He said 4 single girls. I think we'll just go in order. Alright, Kaine is not her. Unless... not her. Instructor though. Asha. Not her. Is it blue? It is. Okay, she's not who I thought she was. This is a completely different person. Alright, that was it. I was just curious. Open that new tab. That sounds interesting. We'll click on this real quick. Just to see.
Help! Ants are hiding in my basement.
Wait. Sorry, that sounds interesting.
Right here, I have a fruit that some say could.
Choose 7 girls versus 7 guys. Secret crush revealed. Okay, that sounds interesting. We'll save that to the playlist. See how that goes. Alright, what about this mystical dude?
End world hunger. It's spiky, kind of intimidating, and it looks like something that fell off the back.
Jackfruit could solve world hunger in 7 minutes. Made by Sean Groves. Alright, talk to me, Sean. Help save the world.
Of a dragon. But what you were looking at was quite possibly the most underrated life-saving fruit on the planet. Because this thing, it doesn't just grow on trees the size of dinosaurs, but it feeds people like no other fruit really can. In a world that's constantly running out of answers, jackfruit might be one of the last ones left standing. Most fruits are seasonal and they're kind of high maintenance, but jackfruit kind of just does its own thing. It's the largest tree-grown fruit on the entire planet. Each tree can produce up to 200 of these things every year. They don't really need constant attention.
Each tree can produce over 200 of them every year. Okay.
Or chemical boosters to make them grow bigger. Each of the trees can live for decades, and each of the fruits can weigh up to 80 pounds. It's like if watermelon and pulled pork had a baby, but that's really just the surface. Jackfruit is native to South and Southeast Asia, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. In those places, it's not some exotic fruit. It's actually been around for thousands of years. In the Philippines, they caramelize it. In places like Kerala, people eat it boiled, dried, pickled. In Indonesia, it ends up in everything from stew to dessert. But outside of those regions, jackfruit has a weird double life. In the West, it's more known as vegan pulled pork in expensive cafes. They usually drain all the latex and remove all the grind around here. They break it apart into shredded chunks, then they saute some garlic and onions, and they toss in some jackfruit with some barbecue sauce. Personally, I think it's one of the greatest vegan inventions. But in parts of the world where people are actually hungry, jackfruit rots on the ground, completely ignored. So, what's really going on? Well, the part that no one really wants to admit, jackfruit's biggest weakness is time. Jackfruit isn't just large, it's particular. It only really grows in the tropics. It needs heat, humidity, rain, but not too much rain. And if it gets cold, even just a little frost, it's game over. The tree gives up like it never wanted to be here in the first place. In other words, jackfruit doesn't really do compromise. It's like that one friend who needs their room exactly 72 degrees with blacked out curtains and a white noise machine just to go to sleep. So even though jackfruit could feed the world kind of has to meet it halfway. And it's not just the climate. It can take up to 7 years to fruit. And that's a long time to babysit a plant without a single payoff, especially if you're a subsistence farmer where every season counts. You don't get to play the long game when you're planting for dinner. And jackfruit knows that. And it's not rushing for anybody. That's why container gardening and homemade greenhouses are becoming so popular. Imagine if you could grow a dwarf jackfruit tree on the balcony of your apartment. If you could genetically alter it to be able to withstand the cold. These, of course, are just merely ideas, but ideas lead to answers. To me, that's one of the strangest contradictions about this fruit. It's one of the most abundant, nutrient-dense crops on Earth, but it doesn't make itself easy to grow. Therefore, most farmers just skip it. The global jackfruit market was valued at about $250 million in 2023. It's expected to go up to about $450 million by 2030. That's only about a 4% annual rate, which is not horrible, but it's not that good. But it does.
What is jackfruit? Interesting. Okay. So unripe, it tastes kind of like meat. But when ripe, banana, pineapple, and mango with a hint of bubblegum. Okay, that's not a bad taste for a fruit. You get your meat if you want it unripe. Ripe, it tastes like a combination fruit. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Does make perfect sense. Ripe jackfruit spoils fast, and I mean extremely fast. It holds a lot of moisture and it has a delicate texture, so you only have about a week to use it after it's harvested. That's why farmers don't really grow it for profit, they grow it for personal use. They go with things that fruit faster, crops that are easier to sell, or the ones that won't die the second cold front moves through. That's why you never really see them sold whole, only in small plastic wrappings. Even though jackfruit could help solve food insecurity, it doesn't really fit our usual system of production. It's a fruit made for abundance, but not for speed. That makes you wonder, though, how did anyone decide to grow this tree in the first place?
Alright, I think I get the point. Don't need the full summary. Cool video, though. Cool video. Shout out Sean Grows. That was actually kind of nice. Learn about our fruit today, guys. Jackfruit.
When rappers become famous...
We're gonna watch this one, then probably call it one, depending on how decent it is. This anime issue gets worse every time you notice it. And this is Stelouch. Also, how's our shorty doing? Did she make anything new? Let's check. Ours at midnight. Did she drop anything there? Oh, just this. We didn't watch that video, did we? I don't think we did. Low key. What we will start doing, that would be kind of fun. Like, probably at the end of the month, when she drops the video, we'll watch it at midnight because it's her name's like Arts by Midnight. That'll be kind of fun. You still need to watch this one. This seems pretty interesting. Why do rabbits symbolize violence? That's a good question. Characters who got cut. Damn. Yeah, these seem interesting too. We'll add this and this. Check that out. Could be something, could not be. Male loser epidemic. I believe that, bro. Guys are lames nowadays. Afraid to talk to girls, blame girls. Red pillars. Rather talk to their AI girlfriends and whatnot. Think all women are whores. It's just insane, bro. I know what's going on with men.
I also like pretending half of it isn't completely insane. You know, I like anime. I also like pretending half of it isn't completely insane. You know, somewhere between the Annie Talk audios and the weekly, her clothes slipped. It sort of hit me. We've low-key just been letting all this slide. Because if you really think about it, the bar for anime wouldn't be so low if we weren't tolerating these problems. LeBron James on watching Isekai. Okay, I'm not saying I'm above it. I'll still gladly watch these shows with a smile on my face. But don't you think there are some things in anime we could use without? Because I do. So instead of doing something useful with my life, I'm gonna rank all the anime problems I can think of. From mildly annoying to, this is why my family doesn't ask what I'm watching anymore. There's a lot, and it gets worse. So we're starting at the bottom, the least unbearable problem. Because I'll be honest, there's been multiple times where I started watching a new anime thinking, cool, new season, new stuff. Then 2 episodes in, I realized I've seen this before. No, not like the exact same anime, but the blueprint, the main character, the oh no I tripped and now my hand's on her chest, it's all identical. Man, these writers out here copy and pasting the same anime into infinity. Just changing the name, swapping the school uniform, and giving the main character a slightly darker backstory like that's gonna hide the fact that this is the 9th reincarnation of the same dude. I'm starting to get convinced that there's one cursed school doc they all pass around. Give the MC trauma? Check. Make him socially awkward? Check. Throw a girl at his face? Check. Oh yeah, bonus points if she moans when he falls on her. Then send that out and it's an instant banger. And y'all eat it up, I can't lie. Some of you really out here calling it peak fiction because he has red hair this time instead of blue. Meanwhile, the plot pacing is cooked. The plot sounds like something I came up in the shower, and they stretched one emotional moment into 3 episodes in a filler arc. We all know how this goes. Cause why is it always some socially awkward high schooler? Bro failed algebra and got ignored once, now he thinks he's Eren Yeager. If in like the first episode they're sitting by the window, you already know what that means. He's about to be the strongest man alive by episode 4. No effort, no training, probably from reincarnation. He believed in himself and now he's stronger than the concept of time. I'm about to smack the shit out you. You know what I believed when I was younger? That the vending machine wasn't gonna scam me again. That machine fucked me harder than any anime villain ever could. And you're telling me this dude gets a harem and a mystical sword in 2 episodes? When is it my turn? Look, I'm not even mad at tropes. Tropes are fine when you do something with them. But that's the problem. Some of these animes don't even try anymore. They're not even tropes at this point, they're just templates. Plugging the underrated MC, emotionally unavailable waifu, probably sprinkle in some ancient bloodline bullshit, and boom, new seasonal anime. Back to the Google Doc. The Demon Lord is actually a middle school girl. How old? 1,000. Since apparently we've decided creepy equals cute now. I don't care if your elf waifu is older than the human civilization if she looks like she's still learning how to use scissors properly. She's 3,000 in elf years is not helping your case. Alright, repetitive tropes. Honestly, it's more funny than painful. I'll put it intolerable. It's definitely not bad as some.
I mean, yeah, if they make it, it's just, you gotta make it interesting, you know what I mean? It's kind of like action movies, spy movies, heist movies and whatnot, mystery movies, horror movies. Like, yeah, they have certain tropes that they always follow, but, you know, it's how they make the trope interesting, you know what I mean? How they flip it to keep you engaged. That's how they usually do it in the characters as well, you know? So, repetitive tropes, yeah, it's annoying to see sometimes, but, like, if it's done well or interesting or something kind of in a fresh new way with a little twist, not that bad. Tolerable is valid.
Some of the other stuff on this list. Like, you ever watch a scene so stiff you start checking your fucking Wi-Fi connection? Like, I thought my screen froze. Turns out it's just how the character moves. Genuinely, how do you get it that bad? How do you adapt it that horribly? Bad animation in like anything just kills the immersion instantly. You need immersion for something to be good. That immersion is like when you forget you're watching a screen. But if the animation is horrible, how is that ever going to happen? Like, imagine watching Attack on Titan and then somebody's in your ear every single 2 seconds saying, bro, it's just an anime. It's not real. It's just an anime. It's just an anime. How are you gonna get locked in? You just can't get immersed with bad animation. I'm sorry. I came to watch an anime, not debug emotionless like .jpeg slideshow. I can sit through a lot of stuff in anime. Like, I can sit through bad writing, bad main characters, bad characters. I just can't sit through bad animation. I just can't. I'll go read the manga. The detail will be higher quality anyway, and it's still frames. Also, the pacing on the manga is much faster. You can get it over with. Like, compared to a video game. Imagine you're in a boss battle and everything just starts lagging. That's like the same with animation. Dude, imagine if JJK Season 2 had horrible animation. Got hoed like T-Bay and Blue Lock. It would not be as hype as it is. I promise you people would not be talking about it as much as they did. Or maybe they would, but they would be talking about it for the wrong reasons. Part of why JJK is such a good anime for like new anime watchers is because the animation is just so good. Like, if somebody's just getting into anime, I'm not gonna tell them to watch the original Dragon Ball from fucking the Stone Age. Like, obviously no. If you want someone to actually get into anime, like, you can't do that. They're just gonna smack the shit out you and call it a cartoon. The quality of animation also matters a lot for the tension and hype, because a lot of the times, especially with like new gen animes, it's the action scenes that sell. Like we see with like Sakamoto, like not even Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days got a lot of criticism. I think it was a bit unfair for Sakamoto Days, but like, for example, Dandadan. Dandadan is a good example. Dandadan has very good animation. I couldn't tell you what the story is about. I genuinely couldn't. But the animation is crazy. People tune in. People like it. Like with new gens, they can be carried by animation, which I don't know. Not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like that's a bad thing, because people will overrate shows. Dandadan is good and all, but I think it's a little bit too hyped, okay? I haven't read the manga. I'm just caught up with the anime. But from what I'm seeing right now, I don't know. I'm just seeing more like crazy animation than like actually story. Even with like Solo Leveling. I read Solo Leveling twice. It's not a bad story. It's just a simple story. I think Solo Leveling is good. And the animation came out really well. Besides for that one part where they showed Jinwoo's butt crack. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
What?
Like, it's
I should never. That's insane.
Just a dude ore farming. I'm not saying that's bad. Some people might not prefer that. Some people might want like slower pace, better story, more emotional, like free run. But that just goes to show what good animation can do to an anime. Like, a character dodging a punch at full speed should feel urgent. It shouldn't be 30 static frames with a VFX blur, no urgency, no danger. Like that one part in Blue Lock Season 2 when Chigiri gets to touch on the ball and it's literally just him moving across the screen. And they keep adding these weird effects to make up for the animation. Like, that's gonna help it. I swear they're adding Capca effects now. A character shouldn't awaken a new ego and forget how to move. Bad animation can also ruin like emotional payoffs. Like, an emotional moment will only land if the animation isn't.
Bro, this feels like it's like a cutscene, like a mobile game and whatnot, like one of those sheeple games. And like they can't afford, and we should just have like a little slasher. That's what this looks like right now. That is pretty bad. That will for sure take me out of an anime.
Like horrid. It lands when the character's face, eyes, body, like they move expressively. And I'm not talking about like bad animation in terms of like the art being simpler. No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. Cause look at Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho, the art isn't that crazy, but they're actually moving. And those hype scenes are very hype. Like any effects when Mob goes into like full rage or whatever, you can tell the simple art style is on purpose. Like if you want something to be like emotionally sad and it has terrible animation, it's just gonna turn into a comedy show. Everybody's just gonna be laughing at the animation. It's not gonna land at all. A tearful goodbye where the tear moves but the face doesn't. Yeah, just wrap it up. When there's bad animation, you can always notice shortcuts as well. No need to spam your 30th CapCut effect. Like if the beginning after the end didn't get hoed by animation so badly, it would be better than Soul Leveling. It would. Like manhwa wise, I think the beginning after the end is more interesting than Soul Leveling. Not that Soul Leveling isn't interesting. I'm just saying that the beginning after the end just, you know, pulled it off better. Like the beginning after the end isn't the worst story ever. Like it has hype moments, great setups, but the animation buries it. And the Blue Lock manga is just phenomenal. Like some of the best sports scenes I've ever seen. In my opinion, Blue Lock is the best sports anime. You can try and change my mind, I don't know. Not saying that I've watched that many sports anime. I can probably count all the sports anime that I've watched on one hand. But just in my opinion, the Blue Lock manga cooks. That's why everybody was hyped for that U20 arc. Just for the animation to fall flat, like bro. Like the beginning after the end is literally how to not animate a fight. There's like one good fight in episode 1 and then it just goes back to PowerPoint. What I'm trying to say from all this is, a good animation needs like a year at least to prep. I'm sorry. Blue Lock had maybe 6 to 8 months, and you saw what happened. That's why I'm gonna give bad animation a painful. Please, lock in. I still think there's some other stuff on this list that's more unbearable though. Cause you know what's worse than anime studios being shitty? Anime fans being shitty. Cause oh
Okay, actually it's getting late. Okay, we'll get to one. Then we'll stop the video.
For those of you who are unfortunate enough to know what Anti-Talk is,
and we could just speed it up. I'm tweaking. We'll put it at like 1.5.
and how toxic it can get, oh my god. If you don't know, Anti-Talk is basically just short for Anime TikTok, and its peak was all the way back in 2021. Originally, Anime TikTok was supposed to be just like this wholesome thing with like...
Not gonna lie, Anime TikTok was peak. Was 2021? Whenever JJK Season 2 came out with the manga versus Gojo versus Sukuna, Anime TikTok was popping off then for sure. During that whole arc in that season, man, it was peak.
Or not gonna lie, originally was this wholesome thing with like Chica dancing edits and stuff, a little cringe, but then it evolved. It evolved into what it is now. If you had an opinion back in 2021, you'd be on the front lines because people realized rage baiting, being loud, angry gets more views. It kind of shifted from just like a community of anime watchers to X anime's mid, Y anime's overrated, Luffy not even water level, jumping the pool for your anime's peak. Half the time, these weren't even real opinions, they were just rage bait. And characters like Goku were on a generational run. You'd have videos like ending this debate once and for all, except it's never once and for all. There's like 20 of the same video every single day. The comment sections would just be endless arguing. The birth of Rage Bait was basically started by somebody named Pan Solos Your Verse. He popularized the Rage Bait. Like, he's like the founding father for Rage Bait. He started the Great Slander era. He basically would just shit on My Hero Academia and their fans, which, not gonna lie, is kind of valid. My Hero Academia fans be acting crazy. But yeah, he would just shit on other anime. Then King Deku 18 pulled up. I know that name just gave PTSD to some of you guys. King Deku 18, he was known for being ratioed all the time. Comment sections, his videos, everything. Like, he would never win an argument or nothing. Everybody hated him. He would post a comment, would have like 1 like, 300 fucking comments or something crazy. I also remember there was this one dude called Aaron Tard. He was another Rage Baiter. He got bullied off the internet for having lists though, which is kind of fucked up. I don't support that, but he was a Rage Baiter. He low-key was the founding father of the Aaron PFPs. Because if you know, you know. When you see an Aaron PFP on TikTok, 9 times out of 10 they're toxic and they're mutual farming. You know, I don't think Anti-Talk when it originally started, it was meant to be this loud. Because back then you couldn't scroll for 5 seconds without somebody calling like Demon Slayer mid for likes. It was like Twitter, but somehow sped up and worse. And everything was anonymous too. People did not care. And oh my god, the audios. For obvious reasons, I can't play the audios here, but it would be hard R's, F slurs, any slur. If you can think of a slur in your head right now, it was probably an audio. People being homophobic, transgender phobic, claustrophobic, they were all the phobics. There was no such thing as real discussion back in Anti-Talk. And the power scaling, bro. Oh my god, that was so annoying. You couldn't scroll for 3 seconds without seeing your character solo your verse. Bro, and it's low-key like not even a nitpick, but certain fandoms were the worst. Because the My Hero Academia fans, they weren't really a part of Anti-Talk, they were just there to get shit on. The One Piece fans acted like Oda was their best friend and they knew all of the foreshadowing and the theories they all made was real and 100% confirmed. The AOT fans, oh my god, the AOT fans, they were horrible. AOT is not a bad show, but all the Aaron Tards, they would have AOT above every show in fiction, not even just anime. And then when the great shift happened, when people stopped trying to, you know, destroy other people with their takes, people kept trying to revive Anti-Talk. I swear every year, people try to revive Anti-Talk and it fails. I don't know about 2022, I know they tried to revive it in 2023. It worked for like a month, failed. Tried to revive it in 2024, it worked for like a month, failed. And they tried in 2025 as well. It just does not work. Anti-Talk is not coming back. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to see videos of apologizing to everyone I beat my meat to again. There's also a guy named I'm Not Kenneth on TikTok. He claims to be the leader of Anti-Talk. Don't know how true this is, but bro, why would you want to lead that? Why would you want to be the leader of Anti-Talk? I almost forgot the dance if you're an NPC, dance if your show is mid, dance if blah blah blah. Every character was a victim to that. And I'm not even gonna get into the it doesn't matter how old you are videos for obvious reasons. That's a little pushing it. You know, there's a lot of Anti-Talk stuff I can't put in this video just because of how not appropriate it is. Like, one of the people posting Anti-Talk videos got leaked for having e-sex. I don't know if it was staged or not, but people ran with it. 2021 was just a different time. You know, anime fans are bad.
Getting exposed for e-sex. on the internet. That's rough, buddy. I'm sorry. That's just rough. E-sex? Like, oh my goodness, bro. That's just unfortunate. Is, you know, Twitch is good. Twitch is good. That's tragic.
Now, but it's not like 2021. Come on now. People have reformed. People have grown up. You know what I think happened is I think the new gen anime watchers like now aren't as toxic as they were back then. Don't get me wrong, they're still 100% toxic. But I think back then they were just ruthless. But like, you know, as people grow up, as people start to realize that some of this is maybe a little cringe, maybe you shouldn't be telling My Hero Academia fans online to kill themselves. And at the end of the day, we can all mood up, mutual farm. You know, anti-talk, it was horrible. Would never slide in modern day. Loki should have never existed. But it was cool. But please never have it happen again. I'm not trying to see 20 hard R's. Please stop. I still don't think anti-talk was as bad as some of the other stuff on this list though. Because let's talk about how you watch anime. And it shouldn't be Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll is absolutely horrible. I would sail the 7 seas any day of the week and watch Crunchyroll. I'm becoming a pirate. Matter of fact, I'm becoming king of the pirates. Crunchyroll is always in drama, and besides the fact that they're always in drama, their website is just horrible to use. It's just a terrible option. Why would you pay to have less shows, wait longer, and more lag? Like what? You're just paying for a downgrade. Why does this even exist? Can we eviscerate this off the map? Okay, not really though, because I know it funds a lot of anime and stuff, but chill. Because like there was like a whole scandal a little while back. Some YouTubers made videos about it. Basically, this gay romance anime aired, and then the Crunchyroll comments just started being filled with homophobic stuff. It was crazy. So you know what they did? They just removed the entire comment section. Because Crunchyroll wants one thing and one thing only. That's money. They don't care about anime. They don't care about you. Do you really think they care about the gays? Crunchyroll pays their translators literally nothing. You see all the subtitles that you're reading for anime episodes, they're not getting paid shit. So they have underpaid translators, non-existent comment sections, because you know what? Why not just remove the community? Wouldn't that be a great idea instead of hiring some moderators? And people will moderate for free too. That's why I don't get it. Like there's genuinely people that will moderate Crunchyroll for free. It's like being a Discord server mod. What Discord server mod is getting paid? But you know, legal stuff, whatever. They're claiming it was to protect the community, but most likely it was just to protect their wallets. They don't want that bad PR, but they don't want to spend money on moderation either. Also, they're trying to replace the human translators that they already underpay, because this is a $1 billion company we're talking about. They're trying to replace them with AI. They're trying to get them up and out of there. Crunchyroll doesn't want to spend any ounce of money. But you know, if you go sail the 7 seas, maybe every now and then you'll click on an ad and you'll see Alexa 30 miles away trying to do something freaky. But you can watch all your anime for free an hour early, sub and dub, and it has literally any anime. You know, Crunchyroll doesn't even have Bleach. Literally one of the big three. Crunchyroll is missing so much anime. If you pay for Crunchyroll, I'm sorry, you're a geek. It's missing some of ReZero, all of Food Wars, all of Evangelion, all of Clanad, all of Akame ga Kill. I don't get it. Why would someone pick Crunchyroll over sailing the 7 seas? You gotta dabble in life, bruh. Gotta become a pirate. Don't be shy. And Crunchyroll is just...
I mean, I don't pay for anime, bro. I pirate heavily. I pirate all the time, actually. That's the way to go. That's how I watched anime back in middle school, bro. It was like websites. There was like a whole website, just, you know, BleachWatch.com. NarutoWatch.com had all the episodes in order and whatnot. DragonBallZWatch.com had the movies too. Like, why would I think those websites are gone now for sure, but like, man, back in the day, you could watch like anime on YouTube too with the episodes in the corner and whatnot. Oh my, that was an era for sure. It was like part 1, part 2, part 3, or 23. It was, man. I miss that era of YouTube for sure. But now YouTube got more, you know, modernized, surreal, more copyright stuff.
So cringe. The whole corporate is so cringe. You can tell none of the...
Like YouTube back in the day really was like the Wild West. But now it's kind of, it's been commercialized. It's more like now a nice, clean city. You know, it's unfortunate. I kind of miss the Wild West side of YouTube.
Higher ups actually watch like anime or whatever because they're all like super grown, you know. I don't know why they try to pretend like they do. They inflate their own shows. Like they try to host like these crazy events and they just don't hit the mark, bro. I'm sorry. Crunchyroll, you're just doing too much. And Crunchyroll is getting expensive, bro. They're removing features that still charge a full price. You're paying damn near $11 for a Crunchyroll membership. And that better be the good membership, I'm hoping. And also anime be randomly disappearing off the platform. Like no warning, no nothing. They also took over Funimation just to deliver less content. And they try to make their own anime, but Crunchyroll originals are just ass. I'm not watching those shows. They felt more like marketing experiments and like actual passion projects. There's no way I just use the word passion with Crunchyroll. They can't even consistently get subs and dubs on time. One of the anime out this season specifically, there was no subtitles yet because it was like brand new. I watched it subtitled by a third-party platform or group of people. It literally had a watermark in between the episodes. So you're telling me a random group of people are subtitling faster than Crunchyroll, a $1 billion company? And I think the main problem is because Crunchyroll has no real competition. Besides the pirates, like I don't even know what they can do about that, but there's no real other competition against Crunchyroll. Like try and think of it. What paid anime site is more popular than Crunchyroll? Or even hold a candle to Crunchyroll? You can't. There is none. They literally buy up shows so competitors can't stream them. And then they remove them later like nothing happened. It's like kidnapping anime just to throw it in the closet. They never communicate with the community. There's no real transparency, no updates, no feedback loops. They do unnecessary censors on anime even if the original is fine. Like you're paying full price to watch an anime with pixels turned up to 100%. Their search feature is also horrible. You type in Naruto and you're gonna get some random show like Cooking with Valkyries or something. I've seen better search bars on bootleg manga sites. I'm not even trolling. And Crunchyroll is the absolute worst for hyped anime. The server's always crashing. And they do all this while bragging about being for the fans. You know what's funny? Crunchyroll originally started out as being an illegal website, a pirating website. And back then, they probably had a bigger catalog than what they do now. Maybe they had Bleach. And don't even get me started with the award show. You can tell.
Yeah, there was like another thing. I forgot what it was called. It was like called, it had like the yellow X or whatnot. There used to be a website too you could watch anime on, but then I think Crunchyroll took over from them. Man, that's crazy to think about in hindsight.
All the award shows just brand promotion. Like, for example, Tower of God got inflated. Like, imagine Crunchyroll giving Crunchyroll an award for being Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's horrible. Sail the 7 seas. Become a pirate. Come to the other side. With that being said, Crunchyroll, you fund a lot of the anime industry, but you are ass. Please get eviscerated off the map. And I'm not even done yet. There's still things just as bad. Like, you ever watch an anime and something huge happens, and you just don't seem to care? Not because it's a bad scene, but because the pacing ruined it. Pacing can make or break an anime. You know, sometimes people try to mistake bad pacing with slow pacing. Like, for example, Made in Abyss Season 1. Yeah, the pacing in the beginning is pretty slow, but it's all build up and there's a good payoff. In Steins Gate, where the first 12 episodes are confusing as hell, but bad pacing is bad pacing. Pacing decides how much impact a story moment has. Or let's be more straightforward, how enjoyable a story might be. Because the two types of bad pacing I want to talk about is rushed pacing and unnecessarily slow pacing. Like, for example, I know this is pretty much like the punching bag of the friend group when it comes to pacing, but One Piece. There's people that try to argue that One Piece is the greatest piece of fiction, but then people don't listen at all. Like, people will listen to them talk for 30 minutes and then say, yeah, but the pacing is ass. One Piece's horrible pacing has had such a big hit on its reputation and just the overall watching experience, of course. It's crazy. As of right now, it seems like One Piece is taking the crown for the most hated anime in the community that isn't just like obviously shitty. It's taking that crown from MHA. And you know, I like One Piece, but even I can admit the pacing is horrible. It drags on for way too long. For those of you who don't watch One Piece,
Yeah, the pacing is abysmal with One Piece. Like, sometimes it's better to read the manga. It really is better to read the manga, bro. Because with the anime, pacing is crazy. Like, they're trying to do, like, what's he face? Kind of make it seasonal. Like, they took, like a what was it, like an 8-month hiatus, then came back with episodes and whatnot. And that's decent. I feel like if you want to take, like, month breaks, like, you know, 6-month breaks and whatnot, then come back with a bunch of episodes, yeah, keep doing that and whatnot. But then at that point, have decent pacing, like have like modern day anime pacing, you know, like for those 24 episode shows that be coming out. But they be still having that bad pacing and like having episodes that summarize that too. Like, bro, we just watched the episode. We literally watched the episode. Now we're getting a summary of the last episode. Like, what is just One Piece pacing is just disgusting.
One Piece has arcs, and usually it'll be the pacing that ruins a whole arc. Like, Skypiea had a lot of potential. First time they introduced hockey, but the pacing was just horrible. I did not want to watch it.
Skypiea, and I like Skypiea, so I thought the pacing was okay from what I remember. I don't know, did it feel like Skypiea was dragging? It felt like Dressrosa was dragging for sure. Dressrosa felt like dragging, but Skypiea just felt more like a slow burn arc than just like a bad pacing arc, if that makes sense.
Then there's Thriller Bark, another arc. Good concept, but horrible pacing. And then there's shows like Attack on Titan.
Thriller Bark, 50-50, 50% bad pacing, 50% kind of slow burner.
Titan. That nail pacing. Yeah, Attack on Titan is much more new than the One Piece. Filler episodes weren't really normalized, but still, you just have to commend the pacing. Even if you don't like Attack on Titan, I think people can admit the pacing for Attack on Titan is really good. There's always going to be that one person that nitpicks though. In anime, I think pacing is especially crucial because episodes are short. They're only around 20 minutes. For like a regular TV show, episodes can be 40 minutes to 1 hour. So since the norm is only like around 20 minutes, studios have to pick which scenes they get to focus on, how many chapters they're going to cover in an episode, stuff like that. What parts of the manga are they going to cut? What parts of the manga are they going to keep? And when pacing is done right, you can forget that time is passing. It's the reason why two shows with similar plot can feel completely different quality. Pacing can turn a good story into a great one or just ruin it entirely. You know the pacing in One Piece is bad when they're reanimating 1,000 episodes into like 250 episodes. Man, after One Piece is reanimated, a lot of your guys' arguments are gonna be gone. We're all gonna be like 50 years old when that happens. 250 episodes is crazy. My kids, grandkids, kids are gonna watch it. That's why bad pacing is going into ass. Can literally make the show unwatchable. Genuinely. You know, speaking of unwatchable, fan service. Yeah, fan service. Fan service is probably by far the most annoying thing in anime. It's the reason why I don't want to tell people I watch anime. For the 12 people that might not know what fan service is, it's basically when a show tries to like please the audience with questionable scenes. Like when the show doesn't trust the story to hold attention without distractions, so they gotta show you some girls' panties. With fan service, sudden fan service can completely break the tone of an emotional or intense scene. Honestly, just break the tone of a whole anime. Like with Fire Force. Fire Force is a prime example, but it's ruined by constant gags and underwear shots, and girls having their clothes accidentally fall off. They genuinely don't trust that you can watch Fire Force without fan service. And fan service is everywhere, even where it doesn't belong. I genuinely can't name an anime without fan service, besides maybe A Silent Voice, and that's a movie. There's probably more that I've watched without fan service, but I just genuinely can't think of one at the top of my head. Even the serious shows have like those 1 or 2 scenes. And the thing with fan service is, a lot of these shows have great stories that don't need fan service. They really don't. Unless it's for like some comedy part maybe, but like why would...
I was legit trying to think of one. I was trying to think of like the serious aims. I was trying to think, like my first thought was definitely, I was like, no, they had some fan service with Mikasa. And I was gonna say Code Geass, like wait, no, they had like a decent amount of fan service with Code Geass, bro. Like they had insane fan service for Code Geass. I think Villain Saga does have fan service. Villain Saga is an option. Yeah, Villain Saga. What else? Villain Saga. Dang, yeah, like it's kind of hard. No, Gurren Lagann had a lot of fan service, bruh. Kill la Kill was the peak of fan service, but like it was fan service with a message behind it, though. Oh, Ranking of Kings. That has no fan service at all. Yeah, that's there we go. Ranking of Kings has no fan service. There we go. Ranking of Kings. What other anime? Did Attack on Titan have fan service? I don't remember it having any fan service. I'm gonna add Attack on Titan like a maybe. There could have been some fan service, but like for the life of me, there's nothing that pops up in my head. Attack on Titan. So we got a few. We got Ranking of Kings, Vinland Saga, maybe Attack on Titan. Oh, Pokemon doesn't have fan service, but that's one. Okay. Yeah. That's all I could think of. So yeah, fan service is like a prevalent thing in anime. Okay, yeah.
Would Code Geass need fan service? Or Attack on Titan? Or Death Note? I don't get it. Why do they need it? Do they really want the extra attention that badly? For me, fan service just shows immersion. It's not
I love how he said Code Geass and Death Note and Attack on Titan. That's insane.
something that'll make me more locked in or it'll make me less locked in. The thing is, studios use it for like clout and controversy and stuff, because fan service gets people talking on social media, which means more exposure, and all types of exposure is good exposure for these anime companies. But really, that's a short-term strategy. Like, shock value fades, but the cringe stays. Like, the anime is always gonna have that fan service. All the fan service is doing is turning anime into memes, not meaningful stories. And I feel like fan service turns new viewers away, you know, people that aren't already used to it. Like, imagine showing your friend an anime for the first time, and it's Mushoku Tensei, which is objectively a very good show, which is rated very highly by the people who watch it. But all I can describe those first few episodes is a little weird. It reinforces the stereotype that anime is just weird stuff for horny people. It makes it hard to recommend genuinely great shows to people outside the community. When it's the point of the show, it's whatever. Like, High School DxD is built around fan service, at least they're honest. If the show exists to be horny, then fine, I guess they're doing their job correctly. Honestly, even in like other shows when they use fan service as comedy, I still think it's like a cheap gag. Like, when is fan service actually funny? Because I think it gets unfunny after the 252nd time that you witness it. It's honestly just lazy writing, in my opinion. With fan service, I think the negatives outweigh the positives by far. It might get attention, but it damages your story long term. If you're making a serious show, don't dilute it with nonsense. And fan service should have purpose. Twitter engagement is not a good one. And with that, I'm putting fan service at the top of ass. It's honestly just horrible. Thanks for watching today's questionable video. I'm not an anime guru, this is all my takes. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed at least some of my app.
Alright, not bad. This is Stelouch. Decent video. Did I add this to the list? Save. Things to watch. React to. I think I had this one. Let me double check. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Transition. And on that lovely note, thank y'all for tuning in for the stream. No, it's a quickie, but Papa got a Zoom call, so we got to take care of that in the morning. But yeah, it was been fun hanging out with y'all. We're going to stream again tomorrow, Friday night. We're going to be day 30, bro. Day 30 of 30. 30 days of streaming. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's whatever. All right. It's been fun. I'll talk to y'all.